Keeping track of new items. Nice. So that'll... If there's a new item, it'll have an exclamation point next to it. Neat. But anyways, hello. Welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 5 of the run where we make our way through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time we got Mesmer's Soldier Axe, 2 perfume bottle weapons, Mesmer's Soldier Shield, most of the common soldier armor set, and the Horned Bairn, which is pretty neat. We also got the 2-headed turtle talisman, which is pretty cool. And Talisman of the Dread. 2 things that I forgot to point out at the end of the last part. But here we are starting... I should also say that we also got to Castle Front, Ruined Lava Fort intake, behind the Fort of Reprimand, and the Cerulean Coast, which was beautiful. But here we are starting at Castle Front, and we are heading east. Because before we went off to the right, which is where we got all the things that we got, and saw all the things that we saw. But now we're going to follow the path. Ooh, Mesmer Soldier Armor. So, final piece of the Mesmer Soldier set. Armor worn by soldiers who serve Mesmer, the Impaler ragged cloak is draped over rusted mail. Though the chest piece features skidoo tree motif, gold has been used for its engraving, a small consolation to those forced away to war without grace or honor. It has... the cape kind of looks like the Page cape, in my opinion. You know, maybe you shouldn't have done this at night when it's dark and hard to see things. But also, it's night, which I prefer. And also it's raining, which I prefer. So, don't know what he was doing. And don't know what you're doing, but I'm just gonna take this. All you had to do was not fight me. It was not a difficult task. I get that I stole from you, but like... can we make that drop? I don't think we can. And normally I'm willing to huck myself off a cliff just to see, but not this time. Not this time. I wonder if there's anything here, though. Besides a few enemies. Like, there's that path continuing on. But I don't want to just follow the path and end up missing stuff. Grave Glowwort. So there's a pathway here. That looks like it leads to a decent bit. But there was another pathway off over here that went down here. Oh, there's a site of grace here. Glad I came back this way then. Always love finding new sites of grace. Oh, there's an NPC here. So, skidoo tree fragment. Corridors coalesce. I abandoned here a part of the flesh of my body, along with some period blood virgins. But we can talk to you.
Oh, hello there. Are you the Tarnished? Lady Leda spoke of you. Another Tarnished. Guided here by Mikola the Kind. My name is Tiolier. I too am Tarnished, and here on kindly Mikola's account. So, well, here's to new beginnings, I suppose. I'm sorry. But, well, I'm not much good at anything is all. I'm as weak as a kitten and thick as two planks. I've always been this way, since the very day I was born. I'm afraid the only thing I'm proficient in is poison. Sorry.
Oh, merchant. I was gonna say, he has a white mask, and I don't trust them. Because of, like, White Mask Vare and Moog. Not a friendly bunch. But lots of crafting materials. But deadly poison perfume bottle. Scales in dexterity and arcane causes poison buildup. A perfume bottle customized by Tolier. Attacks release perfumed powder producing deadly poison. That's hard to say. There are some techniques of their perfuming arts that employ poison. Upon learning of this, Talier threw himself into mastering those techniques, and he made them his own. And then it has the unique skill of deadly poison spray. Swing the perfume bottle overhead, wafting perfumed powder of deadly poison over a wide area. Poison shall dance upon the air and pour down in quiet calm. Interesting.
Just give me the word if you need any more poison.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Not one bit. Oh, there's plenty of these things around. Free runes just falling out of the sky. Who could ask for anything more? Right. These things.
The pain. My arms, my legs, each lies a bloody ruin. The pain. The exquisite pain.
You're sounding like Vare. I don't know how to feel about that.
Bale! Vile Bale! Oh, terror incarnate! There is life in me yet! I will soon feast upon your heart! Mark my words! You too shall know fear!
Bale was the dragon, right? Yeah, final thing. Bale was the foul dragon's name, a terrible harbinger of destruction, whose challenge to the ancient dragon lord ended in grievous mutual injury.
The pain. The exquisite pain.
Alright, so from here we can go left and up or down and right. Hold on, what was this? Ah. I will have no birds in my court. Grave bird bracelets. So we got a second piece of this. We have read that already in the chest piece in an earlier part. So we can focus our time and attention on continuing forward. Nope. 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 So, despite being made out of stone, those birds are pretty easy. Which is good for our health, I suppose. Wide open fields like this, I don't know how to approach. In terms of making sure you don't miss goodies. I will not have ghost flame in this household. You keep that outside. You hear me? I think that goes down, like, into the down path. Here, there's forward or up. I feel like up is the shorter path, so that's what we're gonna go with. Because you always want to go with the shortest path first, I feel like. Some people probably gonna disagree with that. But I feel like suppressing pillar. But I feel like taking the shortest path first kind of helps you focus. At least it helps me focus. And not lose track of, like, where I'm going and where I can go. Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. The very center of the lands between all manners of death wash up here only to be suppressed. Okay. So this is the center then. Good to know. Now we can make our way down and I don't know if we've gotten everything up here, but I don't see anything else, and I don't want to spend too much time running through an open field that I've already at least somewhat covered. That was almost very rude. It doesn't look like there's much here. Outside of good scenery and a few crafting materials. Oh. There's no need to jump. Alright, we got invaded. I'm playing offline, so any invasion is an NPC invasion. I can see him way over there. We can pop those, get ourselves a bit of health and damage. Ow. Alright, thanks for not healing. Ancient Dragon Man has died. Ancient Dragon Man is certainly a name. But moving on. Yeah, see, we used Bestial Vitality and Flame Grant Me Strength, which gives us health and damage respectively. And now with the Blessed Blue Dew Talisman, instead of having to invest in the mind or have blue flasks at the expense of red flasks, or just not being able to use Bestial Vitality and Flame Grant Me Strength again, all we need is a bit of patience. And we can have all that. We can have all the good things. And I feel like even patience isn't really needed, because we're exploring, and exploring takes time. So I feel like it's got that covered. I don't know if we've missed anything, but I'm going to continue on. Dragon's Pit. Well, he got invaded by the Dragon Man. We're back up to full FP, so we can move over to that. I cannot wait until I go through here on, like, my magician character, because this will be so good. There's an enemy there. This feels like a trap. Oh yeah, there's definitely something below us. Good. I keep saying it. I mean, I haven't said it recently, but I've said it in the past. Dark Souls, in the early games, wanted you alive. Dark Souls in the later games wants you dead. And they will absolutely hide enemies behind corners. We're gonna ignore the fact that I was talking about how you need to be aware because the game puts traps and enemies around corners, and then have me walk face first into that. We're going to ignore that. And I would like to thank you for ignoring that. And continuing on. That's a giant bowl of blood. And I'm thirsty. That fire attack is very easy to backstab. And it is very easy to stance break these guys. Don't get me wrong, they're pretty big threats. And they shouldn't be underestimated because they can do massive amounts of damage. But also, great swords are busted. Looks like you can drop down into there, but I don't see a way to get back up. And I would rather do everything else first before taking the path where you can't get back up. Right, so you can get back up from here. There's an enemy there. There's an enemy there. There's a big enemy there. Good to know, good to know. Yeah, so we can go with the longsword because it's a bit faster. But if you're going through an area for the first time and you don't know where the enemies are, a great thing to do is to just take it very slowly. And also guard counter. Like, great sword, great shield, the best armor set you can get, defensive and health regenerating talismans, and guard counters. They are very strong. They are, dare I say, busted. I don't trust this. That's not good for our health. But this is an enemy we're familiar with. I say as I whiff a timing. But we're familiar with these enemies. We've seen them in the base game. You can time that roll, but I'm not good at timing that roll, so... And for this, you just want to back up. Because that charge goes on for a bit. And they usually do it 2 to 3 times. That's not a charge, I don't think. Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think the game would do that to me. We can't get that. Bit unfortunate, but we will survive. We timed the roll. Uh-oh. I can usually tell the difference between those two attacks, but I don't know how I can tell the difference. I think that there's some small difference, and my subconscious picks up on the difference. My conscious mind just doesn't. But ancient dragon smithing stone. There's a drop here. Is this the drop to where we were? It is. Okay, good. I was about to say, I don't want to drop somewhere where I don't know where I am and I can't get back up, and then it's gonna be like, ah, well, there's that path that we missed out on. And we can't teleport, I just realized that. There's no teleporting here. That's a whoa. We'll be fine, though. Be brave, show no fear. What does that mean? Like, that's so vague. I mean, I don't tend to show fear unless something relatively fast takes like 70% of my health bar. I'm cautious, though. Ah, it wants us to jump. If I died, that would have been so embarrassing. Of going, ah, yes, yes, I know what the game wants from me. And then just instant death. Ancient Dragon Man. Yeah, my boy's rocking the great katana. That probably should have hit me, by the way. Oh. So there are new dragon incantations. Just slightly bully the NPC. And this is the second NPC style boss that has had a projectile attack like that. The first one was in part 1, in that, like, Lost Mausoleum. It was the, like, Warrior of Solitude, I think it was called. Something like that. And it was very cool there. That's a one-shot. But it was very cool there. It's very cool here. Not a fan of the one-shot, but I did run straight at him, so what can you expect? But we can swap out Taker's cameo for fire defense. We can take out Blessed Dew Talisman for non-physical defense. We can pop Bestial Vitality. We can pop Flame Grant Me Strength. We can sip our Physic. And we can go to town wailing on the NPC. I ran back to get the runes. Because I like having the runes. That's a unique heavy attack. Looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, however, Greatsword. Your existence is invalid. You're out of heals. Boop. Yeah, sometimes you have to delay your swings, because... But... Anyways, sometimes you have to delay your swings, because the NPCs roll. Don't... shoot me. Right, there you go. You're dead. Well... And that gets us 130,000 and Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. And second attempt, but only took one sip of the Estus. And we can now move back to these. But the weapon is another Great Katana. Strength, dexterity, blood loss buildup, physical damage. A great katana with spines of gravel stone along its blade, wielded by the ancient dragon man of the dragon's pit, has an anti-dragon effect, meaning it does more damage to dragons. Formerly a dragon communion warrior, the ancient dragon man was once arbiter of those worthy to devour the dreaded one. Unique skill, dragon wound slash. Designed to hunt colossal dragons. I bit my tongue there, I'm sorry. But designed to hunt colossal dragons. This skill cloaks the armament with a jagged gravelstone aura before performing a high leaping slash. Charge the attack to also fire off the aura. So comparing this to the Great Katana, looks like they have about the same amount of range. Personally, I prefer the Great Katana because I don't like super jagged weapons. They just look like unclean. It feels like you make one slip up and you're gonna get some kind of disease. Whereas I tend to prefer very smooth weapons. I say as I'm wielding the Blasphemous Blade. But I use the Blasphemous Blade because of the HP regen and it being busted, and also it doesn't have a sheath, which I prefer when weapons don't have sheaths, which this doesn't. So happy about that. But we can open this up. We can send ourselves back to the beginning there. And also we can teleport now. Though, here there's a site of grace. Don't know how I feel about there being an option to teleport back to the beginning there, but also a site of grace directly ahead of you, because some people might see the teleporter and not see the door because it's closed, and then just teleport back up, and then they won't see this. I know that dexterity isn't the best thing for this build, but also I have 42 points into Faith and 17 points into Arcane. Like, I'm not going for mid-maxing here. I would say out of all the builds that I've created to head into the DLC with, Foot of the Jagged Peak, I'd say that this build is probably, not even probably, almost certainly the worst. Because all of the other ones have a clear goal. And then this one's just like, oh yeah, we have a bit of health, we have a bit of endurance, we have a bit of strength, we have some sprinkles of dex and intelligence and faith and arcane. And the reasons why I put the intelligence and arcane in, I'm just not using. And I didn't take mind into account, and so I can't really use a lot of the incantations. So I kind of butchered this build. But I'm still going with it. So there are dragons down there. I don't know if those dragons are alive. I don't think I want to know. Baal! O terror incarnate, again I stand afore ye. This is the guy who was screaming about the exquisite pain. Well, that one's alive. Where's Baal? Is that stone structure Baal? I kinda don't think so. I don't know where Baal is. I also don't know where the map fragment is. So I don't think it's one of these two, because those are very far away. But I don't know where it is for this one. But I guess all you can do is continue to move forward and go up the other path, so that way we can install fighting a dragon for a bit. Which I don't know why I'm stalling the fight with the dragon, because on a conceptual level, I love dragons, and I think Elden Ring has one of the best executions for dragon fights. Like, out of all the Souls games, I think Elden Ring did dragons the best. Oh, Jagged Peak Drake. This thing is a full-on boss. It's not just an enemy. This thing has a boss health bar. Question is, are you like the bone dragon of having unique attacks? Or do you have the normal dragon attacks from the base game? It looks like normal dragon attacks. Yeah, so, in case you don't know, dragons in Elden Ring are broken up into two main categories. That's not only lightning, that's a special kind of lightning. Don't know what kind it is, but it was a different color than normal lightning. Oh, that's a unique attack. At least different from the base game dragons. Oh, it might be fire lightning. Whoa. Okay. I see you. I see you, Mr. Jagged Peak Drake. But yeah, the dragons in Elden Ring are broken into two main categories. Minor dragons and major dragons. I don't know if that's what they're officially called, but that's what I call them. And the minor dragons are better fought on foot, while the major dragons, like this one, are better fought on horseback. Right. Stab! That was almost enough to kill you. You're almost dead. And with that, you go down. Great enemy felled. 90,000 runes, a dragon heart, and dragon scaled flesh. Here, boost health, stamina, strength, dexterity at the cost of gradual HP loss. A lump of hot flesh carved from beneath the inverted scales said to grow in aged dragons. When ingested as is, that means, that implies that we can change it, which is interesting. But boost health, stamina, strength, dexterity at the cost of gradual HP lost. To the Drake warriors, there's no more intoxicating liquor than the heat of dragons. Alright, so I put a lot of focus on HP and keeping HP high, so this doesn't fit with my playstyle at all, but I can definitely see people using this to very good effect. Right, but we could summon Spirit Ashes there, and you may have noticed I haven't been summoning Spirit Ashes in this run, outside of one boss, which I fought like 5-ish, I think, at this point. And don't worry, I'm not some weird purist who thinks that, like, you don't actually beat bosses unless you beat them solo. I'm not someone who looks down on people who use Spirit Ashes. I have Mimic Tear fully upgraded in my pouch. So, don't worry about that. Red Fulgur Bloom. I'm not even gonna look at that. The reason I'm not summoning is because I like to take bosses on one-on-one, typically, when I'm still learning, just so I can learn their movesets. So, that's why I'm doing that. But if a boss is very difficult, I'll pull out Mimic Tear or an NPC summon if I can. But Red Fulgur Bloom. Here. You can pause and read that if you want. I am not going to. Yeah. That way up to the site of grace. And then there's that way with the rocks. There's this way, which looks like it's just a cliff face. And whatever that is, and I'm not gonna deal with that. And if this path goes that way, I will be very sad. If I ever have to go down there, I will be very sad. Because I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know. Like with the dragons, I don't want to know was more about, I don't want to fight multiple dragons at once. One-on-one, the dragons are great. I like them a lot. Like I said, Elden Ring has my favorite dragon fights in the entire series. I just don't like to fight multiple of them at once. Which, granted, basically never happens. Off the top of my head, there's one location with multiple dragons. And even then, they're very slow and non-aggressive. And you can mostly keep them in a 1v1. Though they do very slowly move towards each other. Or towards you. So, if you take too long, you can end up fighting multiple. But that's also completely optional. There's no boss there or anything. It's just a section of dragons. Which is very cool. And in that part of the game, it rains a lot. I think it constantly rains, actually. Which I love. This is the dragon. The dreaded one. Can we go up into its mouth? Grand Altar of Dragon Communion. Ooh. Oh, we can't swing our weapon. I was gonna swing my sword, smack them on the tongue. Make a joke about it waking them up and having them clamp their teeth down onto us. And insta-killing us. Tragic that that's not an option. We can walk into this. Wonderful. Let's see. Communion with Baal, a ritual dragon communion. Ghost Flame Breath. Ooh. Requires faith and arcane. One of the incantations of Dragon Communion transforms caster into dragon to spew Ghost Flame Breath. Charging extends duration. The land of spirit graves is home to all manner of dead, and even the corpses of fallen dragons found their way here. Several of them were endowed with such vivacity, question mark, that even in death they cannot fully die. Sophia and maybe Godwin, maybe Ronnie. Sounds like they would all love this place. Also, I have 23 dragon hearts. Because I killed all the dragons in the base game, but didn't get any of the dragon communions. And then with Bale. Oh, there's Hearts of Bale. Okay, so there's Bale's Tyranny, which requires 49 arcane. One of the greatest dragon communion incantations. Harness the fearsome power of Bale the Dread. Channels the form of the dread dragon to emit a mighty roar accompanied by a heat wave burst, causing violent eruptions of fire in the area. Even after being consumed, the throbbing heart of Bale continues to resist its subjugation, never weakening. One day, the fire within will consume the very body and soul of its communion devourer. One day. And then Bale's Flame Lightning, which takes 53 arcane. One of the greatest dragon communion incantations. Harness the fearsome power of Bale the Dread. Channels the form of the dread dragon in right arm to smash foes with an exposed talon bone coursing with flame lightning. Even after being consumed, the throbbing heart of Bale continues to resist its subjugation, never weakening. One day, the fire within will consume the very body and soul of its communion devourer. One day. I thought this was a... Oh, it is a person! I was about to say, I thought it was a person just staring at me, talking like an idiot. But no, it's just a statue. But no, it's a person. You look withered. Hello.
Warrior true, picture yourself feasting upon a dragon's essence, on the throbbing heart of the oldest, vilest dragon of them all. It would be the purest form of communion, the fullest sating of your hunger and your consummation as a dragon whole.
So, I know that you're talking about this guy, but I can't help but feel like you're talking about Calamite. But yeah, I'll devour the draconic essence.
Yes, as it should be. Now, seek the Jagged Peak. There you will find Bale, the oldest and vilest of all dragons. Landbound warrior. Follow your desire and slay the foul beast. Devour its throbbing heart. I will grant you the strength required. In the name of my lord, Placidusax.
Interesting. So, she worships Placidusax. And this isn't Bale, apparently. Ancient Dragon's Blessing. Let's see if we can find that. Here, uses FP to increase all damage negation. Ooh, that sounds nice. Is this like Baldekin's Blessing, where I can come back and get one anytime? Because if so, that's very good. But favor bestowed by the Dragon Communion Priestess in the name of the Dragon Lord Placidusax. Consume FP to increase all forms of damage negation, including physical. Glad that they specified that. This also increases damage negation while guarding as an additional effect. Each night, the priestess offers her own sleep to her lord, and in turn receives the power of his favor. Cool.
Warrior true, what is it that you need? In a time long past, Bale turned upon the Dragon Lord. The foul traitor assailed our master and inflicted a grievous wound.
only to make a hasty retreat, becoming a sworn enemy of the brood. Since that day, Bale and his bloodline, the Drakes, have served as sacrifices for Dragon Communion, land-bound warrior. My lord, Placidusax, has shown your kind what must be done. Seek communion. Sate your boundless appetite. Feel the euphoria of a dragon's essence taking root in your meager frame.
You know, you say that, but my meager frame killed your lord, so, how about that?
In a time left far becoming a since that day.
Right.
Warrior.
She doesn't say anything when you leave. Right. Kinda strange that you can just murk her lord and she'll be like, hey, you wanna join and hang out? Also, we can sharp gravelstone. But we can ride on this dragon, or climb on them. You can stop and read this if you want. I'm going to continue on. And a giant fire guy over there. Dragon Communion Harpoon. Is that not a weapon? Is that one of these? What is that? Oh, here. Throw to inflict damage with anti-dragon effect. You can only hold up to 5 at a time. Scaling A off strength and C off dex. Harpoon bristling with sharp gravel stones. Craftable item. Oh, it's a craftable item. Probably requiring sharp gravel stones. Throw at enemies to inflict heavy damage. It has an anti-dragon effect. A tool of the old Dragon Communion warriors who were the agents of the ancient dragon's hatred for their low-born descendants. So they hate these youngsters and how weak and pitiful they are. Dragons are basically just big humans. Ooh. So, when is Elden Ring getting a skate mod? Because skateboard. Something I know much about by me knowing the terminology, as you can clearly see. Red flowers. This is pretty. This also makes me think I'm gonna die. So, there's a good and a bad to that. And I don't know which one is stronger. But we are at 54 minutes on the timer. And I have said before that I try to keep these around an hour, preferably under if I can. And so this would be a very good place to stop. But I'm also very curious on what's ahead. Also, I'm sorry if I'm quiet. I lowered the volume of the mic from last time to this time. And I also readjusted it. And I'm slowly leaning away from it. And I have to remind myself to sit forward. Charo or Charo's hidden grave. Oh, there's those guys up there. They're here as well. They're angry. I don't know why they're angry, but they're angry. I did nothing to them. I feel like anger against me is unjustified. All I did was come here, kill a dragon, and talk to someone who told me to kill a second dragon. So if you're aligned with dragons, then I suppose that's a Tibia Mariner. That's a Tibia Mariner right there. Gravekeeper's brain pan. Delicious. Oh, it's a skull. So you can pause and read that if you want. Hello, good friend. I hope you don't mind dying. Oh. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. Alright, so it's time to do hit and run tactics. Ow. Hit the Revenant, hit the Revenant. Yeah! Ow, ow, ow. Ow. So. Ow. I don't know where the Tibia Mariner went off to. Now, good and bad. Good is they made Tibia Mariner scary. I know that they wouldn't be if I had a heal incantation. Or if I summon Mimic Tear, because Mimic Tear can just body revenants. But I'd rather not. Tibia's cookbook. Alright, we can look at this. Call of Tibia. I have no idea where that would be. Here, uses FP to summon one lost in death. Scales off intelligence and faith. An ancient ceremonial tool that uses a Gravekeeper's skull as a catalyst. Craftable item. Uses FP to summon one lost in death at the spot that it is thrown. The creature spins and mows down foes in the vicinity 3 times before dissipating. The dead have long been left to wander. What they need is leadership. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop it here. We got the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. We got the Deadly Poison Perfume Bottle. We killed a dragon. That's pretty cool. We met a new NPC. We got Dragon Communion. I'm pretty happy with that progress. And, yeah.